Hello, my name is Prime and welcome back to ETS2 Showcases, and today we are here once again in the Nordic Horizons DLC. And although this video is still recorded on the early access version of the Nordic Horizons DLC, it will be the last in early access because this video will be launched on November 27th, 2025, which is also the release date of the Nordic Horizons DLC. So for today's delivery, we are here just outside of Kuusamo in Finland at a timber site, and we have to dynamically load our B-double logging trailer with the logs that we'll be hauling in today's delivery. And to haul those logs today, we are using this DAF XD with a 450 horsepower engine. So on this beautiful Finnish morning, let's go ahead and get our DAF XD started up and get on the road. And once again, as this is early access for the Nordic Horizons DLC, I am not using any third-party modification in today's video. Everything you hear and see is Euro Truck Simulator 2 through and through. All right, let's get this rolling and get loaded up. And I am immediately seeing a slight roadblock. Okay, so this is, well, first off, a beautiful custom depot here in the Nordic Horizons DLC in kind of central northern Finland, and it's a big harvest site, and we actually have to go along the backside by the looks of it, at least according to the map on our GPS. But they put this handy dandy logging trailer right in the middle of our path, so thank you so much. Their game, don't know if that's standard or not, but you know what, we can get around in this nice nimble DAF XD. And of course we've got our B-double logging trailer with us today, so we can haul a fairly good size load with us. And there's a lot of logs just laying on the side of the road here. We don't want to go over any of those, take out a bumper or so. Got some roads, just making sure can't go anywhere else. So we've got to come up and around here by the looks of it. And oh, I see a loader. Yeah, it's got a grapple on it, so it's not the actual processor. And looks like we've got a spot, so I assume we have to load the front part of our trailer and then the rear part of the trailer. So the front being actually shorter logs, and then the rear trailer being the longer logs as part of this delivery. Oh, overshot it. Classic Prime Simulation move. Let's back up a little bit. I honestly didn't really know where exactly I was supposed to stop because the truck portion is a little bit farther forward, but whatever. We'll take it. And there we go, dynamically loading logs in ETS2, a beautiful feature here in the game. I've done it once before with iron pipes previously, actually, in the 1.57 open beta phase. But we are here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, obviously, and the timber sites was something I really struggled to find anything across ETS2, and honestly, it still is pretty hit and miss because of the depots there aren't fully designed for it. But here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, this feature is fully fledged across various depots, including this timber site here. So as far as I know, we've got to just pull up a little bit once we get a little bit of a, well, it's probably going to just stop, I would assume. See if it gives it a little message here or not. Okay, I'm assuming we have to pull forward here. Yep, there we go. I have to put it back in gear because I put it in neutral. So let's just creep forward a little bit. It wants me to keep skipping my delivery, which I do not want to do. There we go. So now it's loading once again. The TripAdvisor has been going a little bit nuts. It didn't want to pop up originally, and now it's popping up all the time, which is absolutely wonderful. Again, early access. Technically on an early access build of 1.57 as well, or a special build, I should say. So keep that in mind if something doesn't seem quite right. Don't be too concerned. It will most likely be fixed by the time everything is said and done. And I believe this should be the last grapple here. And there you go, 100%. We are ready to go. And as I previously mentioned, we are here in Kuusamo, and we're going to be heading down to Kuopio today. A fairly good sized delivery indeed, but that's okay because we get to explore a sizable chunk of Finland here in the Nordic Horizons DLC. So without further ado, let's get rolling on this delivery. Hopefully everyone is doing well and is excited for the official release of the Nordic Horizons DLC. As I said, this video is going out on November 27th, 2025, which is the official release date for the Nordic Horizons DLC. You are maybe watching this while potentially driving in the Nordic Horizons DLC as well. So hopefully you are enjoying it, or are at least looking forward to the prospect of the Nordic Horizons DLC, whatever state of play you may be in. It has been a true honor and privilege to be able to cover the Nordic Horizons DLC in early access. Once again, a huge thank you to SCA Software for giving me the opportunity to do so. You all are amazing, and I look forward to the future of Euro Truck Simulator 2, American Truck Simulator, and so on, because there is a lot of growth and opportunity coming for the games, and obviously it is wonderful to be able to cover the games here on the channel. That cinematic cam did not work, but we're going to move swiftly past that. It is absolutely fantastic to do these early access looks, and I truly appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone supporting these videos. You make this all possible from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. The support on the recent videos has been incredible, setting channel records, things I would never expect, but I am so happy to see that you all enjoy what I create, so it means that it gives me extra motivation to create these videos, even in times of being extremely busy, or in some of the frustrations that could potentially come along with it, whether it be technical or something else. So what's the release of the Nordic Horizons DLC? Well, on this very day that this video is launching, and as a heads up, I'm recording this the day before, on the 26th, we have just received a little bit of news on the Cruising Nordic Horizons event. So this event, obviously a very popular event for any new DLC release, specifically for here in Nordic Horizons, is going to be quite significant in a few different ways. To start, for your personal goal, every delivery has to be at least 150 kilometers long. That's a baseline. And for the main requirements, you have to take a delivery to or from any or 6 unique cities within each of the 3 countries within the DLC respectively. So in a more simple terms, you have to discover taking a delivery to or from 6 cities in Norway, 6 cities in Sweden, and 6 cities in Finland. Once you do that, you will have your personal reward unlocked, and of course you are contributing towards the community goal as well, all part of the World of Trucks event, and then the various rewards can come your way at the appropriate time. A wonderful event indeed, and a great way to explore across the DLC, and I do appreciate SCA Software doing it in this way, putting the requirement in to be able to discover 6 cities in each of the countries, not just, well, 18 total cities, regardless of the area. I believe most of the countries here in the Nordic Horizons DLC have a fairly equal distribution of cities coming in. Obviously 41 cities. Nice that that could be confirmed, because at least I got my counting correct. That was 40 to 41. Sometimes hard to keep track. 41 cities, 18 technically to be discovered for this event, but again, 6 in each respective country. This event, so many people are excited for. I don't blame you. I'm going to try and partake in it as well. Of course, I'll be doing plenty of coverage, both as part of World of Trucks deliveries and non-World of Trucks deliveries in upcoming videos. It may get off to a slightly slow start for me because the Louisiana DLC is just around the corner on the American Truck Simulator side, so I've got some hefty content planned over there as well. But I'm going to do my very best moving forward to keep Nordic Horizons and Louisiana at the forefront of the video, well, focus, shall I say. Moving forward for the next few weeks, it's going to be busy, but we've got a lot of fantastic deliveries ahead, and hopefully you are excited to explore these various regions as I am. So obviously today, hauling these logs, a wonderful thing to do as well. And to be honest with you, I have no idea if our destination point has dynamic unloading or not. That is a bit of a surprise, and one that we're just going to have to figure out as we get closer, or in fact to our delivery point. I really hope it has dynamic unloading. A lot of the depots around here do have it, apparently at least. We just have to wait and see. And for those who have been around here a while, you know my luck when it comes to dynamic unloading. And I will be honest, we run a risk today because I did choose a B-double configuration of this logging trailer because I like this configuration. Can't do it in American Truck Simulator for whatever reason. I want to do it here in Europe. The B-double, depending on the particular location of a dynamic load or unload position, the multi-chain trailers, if you have to reverse into a spot for the dynamic loading and unloading feature, it generally will not allow you to do it. Because in ETS2, any form of multi-combination trailer by default, even for the skilled parking, you can't reverse it. It's just a pull straight in. So if you have to reverse into a particular zone to be able to be dynamically loaded or unloaded, it simply won't allow you to do it even if the depot has it. So with that long about way to say this, I really hope that we can just pull right into our delivery spot and it's got dynamic unloading there. If not, we were able to dynamically load it. I'll take that for a win. And the logging industry here in the Nordic Horizons DLC is quite significant. Obviously, take a look where we're driving today. The sheer amount of vegetation and forestry alike. It's a big industry. And it's great to see it here, and I'd love to see the custom timber sites as well. There's, of course, timber processing, and then various industrial chains that are all linked together. Fantastic to see. And the quality of these custom depots, as you saw in the intro, yes, that logging site was a nice custom depot. Nice route to get to it. Had to go on a bit of a gravel road. Wasn't too massive by... well, for example, the underground warehouse or depot that we just went to in the previous episode. I guess that was the ore mine specifically. That one was a massive custom depot. That's still a nice custom depot that we just picked up from today. But it wasn't huge. Obviously, across this DLC, there are various sizes, and that's what I like to see, some diversity. There is very little cookie cutter here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, at least from what I can tell, and that is very exciting. That is something I am so happy to see, and again, cannot wait to explore more and more of this region. I've got a significant amount of videos planned here that are quite defined. Various regions here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, and of course, particular cargoes itself. I appreciate everyone who has been either messaging me directly or putting in some different thoughts in the Discord or commenting on videos. Of course, all your reactions are fantastic. I appreciate everyone who has been giving some ideas as well to me for different deliveries or what you kind of like to see in preference, or at very least let me know where you're going to drive first. That gives me a great indication on different ideas for me to be able to create in these videos, and I appreciate that greatly. We're going to try and hit the more northern section of this DLC. In fact, some of the more northern tip and coastal sections of this DLC very, very soon, and then we'll be hitting some specialties, well, special transport DLC routes as well. So those are videos to keep an eye out here into the official release of the Nordic Horizons DLC. So again, keep an eye out here on the Prime Simulation channel for all of that good stuff. And if you're not following me on some different socials, the social realm is expanding here on Prime Simulation. So most likely, if you look on your favorite form of social media, though it may not be very big, you can probably find me at Prime Simulation. I'm pretty much everywhere now. Some things to be announced very soon. But just for those watching this point in the video, thank you. And a little bit of a snippet for those who are interested. Okay, here we go. This was the topic I wanted to talk about because of the intro here and, well, the various regions we've been to thus far in the Nordic Horizons DLC. Kajani? I'm going to run with that. I was going to say a different version and I ended up saying the exact same way I said it the first time. Thank you to everyone who has been correcting me on the way to pronounce certain regions and believe, or city names, or regions for that matter. I'm Prime Simulation, I probably could mess up some of the most basic form of names as well. Thank you so much for giving me some tips and insights and also in some ways saying, oh, that's actually fairly close. I appreciate that. I have tried to at least look ahead a little bit at some of the city names, but to be honest with you, when it comes to the heat of the moment, sometimes I just forget. And I'm going to let this car go ahead because knowing the AI, they're going to cut me off anyways. I've been doing my best, and even today's episode, I did look up some pronunciation tips on these particular city names that we, of course, came from and are going to. I am by no means perfect, and never will be, never have been, and even though I looked it up, my good old Canadian accent can still sometimes get in the way, and well, at least I'm not saying A too much in these videos, but you know what, the situations could occur. Regardless, I'm doing my best, and I appreciate everyone who has been at least trying to help me out a bit with the pronunciation. It's not always easy, and especially when you're dealing with, you know, internet content, and I just went out wide enough for that. It's a good thing I did take a little bit of extra lane liberty in the entry. Even though, you know, I do my extra research, I can still mess up. And when it comes to putting stuff out on the internet like this and being exposed to thousands of people within a very short period of time, from all around the world, in fact, you know, things can get out of hand a little quickly, especially if I'm really off. So I do appreciate everyone being civil about my pronunciation tips, and again, giving me some gentle hints and reminders and corrections along the way. I do greatly appreciate it. So regardless of talking about the names, the Nordic Horizons DLC is absolutely gorgeous, and obviously for those who are watching this on release day, you may very well have the chance to purchase this DLC while watching this video, depending on what time of day you're watching this. And well, really, it's whenever I can get this video out, and if the DLC is already out or not. So you may be then trying to make a final decision if you want to purchase it. Again, I personally do not know, as of recording this video, the final price for the DLC, but most likely around the $17 range, I would assume. Some of the larger DLCs are generally in that range, potentially even pushing $20. I could be very much surprised, and I'd be gratefully surprised if it was anything less than that. This is where you have to make the decision if you're going to pick it up. And I know many of you are saying I'm picking it up right away. It is a beautiful DLC. I want to explore it, and so on, and to each their own. And I highly recommend it personally. And that's where I get to, if you're on the fence, I'm going to say this. Again, I've said it in previous videos. The Nordic Horizons DLC is probably the greatest map expansion for ETS2 to date. Of course, that's rich of me to say, considering it's the newest DLC. But even comparing to other DLCs that we've had, even Greece, for example, Nordic Horizons has so many cities, it has so many industries, it has immense road network throughout it, and road network that we're driving on today, which isn't all just highway. It has so many unique smaller elements to it. I would say it's probably one of the most natural feeling DLCs we've had for the sake of these smaller roads. And yes, I'm biased. I love these more, shall we say, backcountry county road situations where it's just 2-lane road snaking through the countryside, not clear-cut highway. I prefer that. I prefer this, so I am definitely biased to that. But this DLC truly does unlock a massive region with beautiful scenery, and with Project Coaches coming up, some really cool landmarks and scenic routes that Project Coaches have been integrated into technically, or will be integrated into, so you can have a beautiful region to explore right out the gate. So again, I do highly recommend you at least strongly consider it. And again, depending on the cost, do not put yourself in a dangerous position financially by any means by picking up this DLC. But if you have the Scandinavia DLC, if you're able to go right up to the border of Nordic Horizons, without having to shell out any extra cash, I highly recommend you pick it up. And if you're brand new to the game, if you really want to get Nordic Horizons DLC right away, I'm sure SES Software will have a bundle available for you, which you can get some savings naturally in that. Highly recommend you do that. But if you can wait just a little bit longer, there is a winter Steam sale normally coming up not too far away. And generally upon DLC release as well, ETS2 and previous map DLCs will go on a slight reduction as well. So there are plenty of sale opportunities, is what I'm trying to get at, available for you coming up very soon, according to historical data and, well, known data with a Steam sale. If you're starting fresh and you want a really great deal on a bundle, and you can afford to wait a few weeks or even right away, keep an eye out on the winter sale. See what kind of sales are available on the DLC release regarding the other games. Nordic Horizons DLC most likely won't be at a discounted rate even in the winter sale. It will most likely take into 2026 to reduce in price by any means. It is a brand new DLC. That's generally how things run. But again, normally there are great bundle prices available, so keep an eye out for that. Sometimes think smart when it comes to the purchasing of games, if you can afford to wait a little bit. If time is your crunch, go right ahead, assuming you can afford it. The DLC itself, in my view, is fully worth it. That is not the deliberate or the deciding factor to me. It would be if I was starting fresh in ETS2 and I want to get into Nordic Horizons and kind of expand across the map and do some deliveries, you know, what's my best bang for my buck is basically where I'm going. So again, keep an eye out for bundles. SC Software is fantastic for that. I would argue that they are not your standard cash grab game developer that put out, you know, skins and DLCs that are crazy price for what they are. I think generally these DLCs are a great deal for what you are getting, and especially here with Nordic Horizons, if it's anything sub $20, I would say it is a no-brainer. In my view, if it's slightly over that, maybe you'd want to think about a little bit more. But if, you know, man, the DAF XG, the alarm is going nuts. Gotta get by this barrier so it stops ringing at me. You know, if it's anything more, I think it is still worth it regardless, unless if it was some crazy exuberant price that had no justification for it. I think it is still worth it, again, because of the quality and sheer potential within it. But again, to each their own. Make your decision, but I highly recommend it. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. It is a fantastic DLC, and once again, one that will give plenty of opportunity for me and you to explore here in ETS2. So we're getting close to our delivery point here. So I want to know what kind of opportunity for unloading we have here. Is this I think this is a big, potentially, a big processing site. It's something papers, I think. Oh, and there's actually an Iveco dealer here. Well, how interesting. There it is. Cool. Very small Iveco dealer. Very small indeed. Gotta work our way up in here. Oh, wow. Is this a gated depot? Well, would you look at that? Fancy. I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that company name. But this is... well, this is something. We are getting a fancy little custom depot. I'll take that. I'll take that any day. At least I think it's custom. The lead up to it's definitely custom. I'm not going to lie, I was slightly concerned that we were delivering to some random depot that wasn't even logging or forestry related. Thank you, ETS2, for that beautifully smooth transition there when confirming that I have to go to my delivery point. Thank you, game. Appreciate it. Early access, everyone. Not a final product. Keep that in mind. The game will receive an update upon official release. I see an arm. I see an arm or a crane, whatever you want to call it. Mechanical arm. Boom arm. I see stacks of logs as well. Yes, we've done it. Dynamic unloading for the win. Yep. Let's go. Okay, so we gotta pull ahead here. We'll do the... Yeah, I know I'm getting close to the log pile, but I want to swing into place. So we've got to go to the front trailer here, and we now know that we have to stay back because ETS2 logic was the frame. So there, hard on the brakes, and watch her unload. So I think it was, what, 3 grabs or so? You're going to take the straps off of the cargo game? There we go. There. Always scares me that they leave the straps on immediately as the grapple's going on, and then it comes off. Not the straps come off as we are pulling up to the cargo pile. I mean, technically you'd undo the straps if you actually strap the logs down, depending on particular region and how far you're going, I guess, in local regulation. You'd normally obviously take that off before having the operator try and grapple anything. But, you know, to each their own. I will take this over delivering to any other, you know, type of facility that doesn't even have, well, logging infrastructure around it. That can happen sometimes in these games. Appreciate the fact that that's not the case here, though, in this particular delivery. There we go. We'll let the loader continue its work. So I will take the fact that we actually went to a forestry related industry, and the fact that it's end-to-end dynamic loading and unloading. Huge win for ETS2 and the Nordic Horizons DLC in my books. And it really does make me excited for the expansion of the dynamic loading and unloading feature in ETS2. It has been a wonderful addition that came in ATS and has expanded since to some different trailers as well. Various cargoes, routes, different depots. That's all expanded on ATS's side, and I'm really excited to see where it goes with ETS2. I'm sure it will follow a similar progression with some of the bulk handlers getting it next. But again, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But the future is bright for ETS2. There is no doubt about it. And just like that, it's completed, and for whatever reason decided to spin me around at the pile here. Don't know why it did that when it finished the cutscene, but you know what? We'll take it. Thank you all so much for watching. What an incredible video here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, the last of the early access videos here on the Prime Simulation channel, because obviously the DLC will be releasing officially, and the next video you see from me will be recorded most likely on the official release of the Nordic Horizons DLC, which is extremely exciting. Once again, a big thank you to SES Software for giving me early access to the Nordic Horizons DLC over the past few days. It's always a true privilege and honor to cover early access products, and so I thank you, SES Software, and everyone watching these videos for making that possible. The future is bright here on Prime Simulation, and I cannot wait to explore Nordic Horizons even more. Comment down below how excited you are for the release of the Nordic Horizons DLC. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.